How come there are no large barriers protecting central support columns for bridges that cost tens of millions of dollars and took 5 years to build, and whose destruction could disable one of the largest ports? How is there no large barrier?
And one of the only roadways that allows hazardous materials. Like, you can't take hazardous materials, from what I've read today, anywhere else that has the tunnels that go through Maryland or Baltimore. They have to take this route. Now they can't. So it's going to...
How am I supposed to hear all of this and then think anything other than it was an intentional in some way?
Well, who's going to benefit from these routes being deterred?
Russia, China.
But who was at the helm of the ship? Do you think it was
Singaporean?
A Singaporean?
No, it was. They say it was a local harbor crew, but it's a Singaporean ship.
Huh. Well, it could be a cyber attack, but I just think that I think you have to have proof of that, or at least be seeking proof to investigate.
Let's play Occam's razor then. This ship driver slipped on a banana peel, spun in circles, and headed directly for the one of two parts of this bridge that would destroy and disable one of the largest ports in America. Or we're at war and our enemies have been cyber attacking us relentlessly. In the news already, there are numerous reports of Chinese cyber attacks on the United States. So the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions is we're at war with Russia. Russia targets a ship, disables the largest port in America, versus a perfect storm of weather, tides, an ill-prepared crew, two random power outages, and a dropped anchor at the most inopportune time, causing it to shift perfectly to the central support column of a bridge that collapses, killing people, disabling hazmat transportation, and shutting down one of the largest ports in this country. Okay, by all means, that may be the explanation, but the simple solution right now is our port was attacked.
By the moon.
No, that's the crazy one. It's like, well, the moon was there and the tide was here and the wind was blowing in this direction. Look, man, when it comes to 9/11, what we were attacked. That's the simple solution.
But they knew immediately that we were attacked, and they knew exactly who did it within hours. Like, that was the craziest thing. So that was like, all that came out really fast. But but it's not come out at all about who's behind this.
No. Because of politics. My point is, when it came to 9/11, there was no question of pilot error, the perfect storm, planes had been veered off course. No, they knew exactly who did it, how they did it, why it was done instantly. So here we are, and they're not the same circumstances. I get it. They're very, very different.
If there were two boats, I think we'd know. If there were two bridges and two boats that have been hit, then we would absolutely be agreement. This is
my point is simply intentional act makes the least amount of assumptions than the perfect storm of accidents disabling one of our largest ports. It's a strong coincidence that while the U.S. was just accused by, I shouldn't say the U.S., but Western intelligence was just accused of aiding these terrorists in Moscow.
Well,
a day later,
they're not just accused. Victoria Nuland's departure speech bragged about what's going to come and how she had a present for Putin, and then it happened.
So perfect, fine. Vladimir Putin comes out.
She admitted it and warned, and then it happened. So,
which is completely my point. Vladimir Putin says, "You guys attacked us," and so now we have to make a bunch of assumptions. Putin has not retaliated against us. China is not aiding and abetting or taking any concerns here. Venezuela, Iran, North Korea, none of our enemies have any interest right now in targeting ships to disable a bridge. That's an assumption. Maybe the attacks are happening somewhere else. They're attacking our southern border, sending drugs and criminals and stuff. Then this ship lost power at the worst time, dropped anchor, causing it to spin. Then the power kicked back on and kicked off, slamming into one of the central support columns, knocking out this bridge, disabling one of the largest ports and our hazmat transport for the East Coast. I just think while both are entirely possible, the simple solution is we were attacked.